Hi guys,
welcome back to our channel. Ari Cal here.
Cal here.
And today we're going to do a reaction video where we're comparing cars. So European cars versus US cars.
Yeah, why American cars and European cars are so different.
Yeah.
So I guess we're about to find out.
So let's go ahead and play the video.
Ever wondered why American cars are all about power and size while European cars focus on handling and refinement? Let's find out why American and European cars are so different. Get ready for a ride you won't forget. Historical differences. To truly understand the differences between American and European cars, we have to start with their respective histories. After World War II, America's economy was booming, and the automobile industry played a huge role in the country's economic growth. The big three American automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, became household names and were synonymous with American cars. These cars have a long history of being big, powerful, and affordable, with an emphasis on straight-line speed. But across the pond in Europe, the automobile industry was more fragmented, with many smaller automakers spread across different countries. Europe was still recovering from the war, and fuel was both scarce and expensive. So European automakers had to focus on making smaller, more fuel-efficient cars that could handle the narrow, winding roads of Europe's cities.
What would you say is like looking at maybe not American cars now, but like old school American cars, they're like more typical of American cars. I think American cars now are more European. Like,
You mean on how they look or how they perform?
Would you notice anything different about American cars versus European cars?
I think European cars are smaller. It seems like
they're getting bigger. Well, they seem to be getting bigger.
They just seem smaller compared to American cars.
Like, for example, I've always thought that American cars are meant to go in a straight line because most of your roads are straight because you're built on like a north, east, southwest.
This is all
your roads are all straight pretty much.
Okay.
There are some curves, but not many. Whereas all our roads are curvy, so they have to be a bit more nimble and better in corners.
That might be why they're smaller.
But
as well.
also, like America's, I think it was moonshine and the prohibition of alcohol that you had NASCAR, pretty much going in a straight line, but with an ever so slight curve. Whereas we have Formula One and stuff, which is tight, going as fast as you can and stuff around corners. But like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of any European cars that would be directly comparable to US cars. Like, American cars, like when you go to the US, it's all trucks, Mustangs, muscle cars and trucks pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas when you come here, like are there any cars that stick out to you that like?
No, there's none that I noticed.
No minis or like anything that like.
I mean, I just see them as small. Like they just seem very like compact and tight. So it's like, how are you driving down the road?
You would never want to drive, or like you just look and think, oh, I'd never want to drive that, or like.
I don't know. I just think like maybe the car that your brother's girlfriend has. I think that's probably the kind of car that I need, but I would be scared to. I would be scared to drive like a car like that.
But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so like a Citroen C1, it's like a super small car. I would be terrified to drive that in the US.
Yeah.
But the cars there are too big to like if an F-150 hit that car. Yeah. I don't think there would be much left of my car, like if I was driving my little Citroen C1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll keep going with the video.
And let's not forget about brand identity. American cars are often associated with specific brands such as Chevrolet or Ford, while European cars tend to be associated with countries such as Germany or Italy. This difference is also rooted in historical context, as the automobile industry in America was more consolidated, with fewer major players dominating the market. Design differences. But what about design differences? Well, the historical context played a big role in influencing the variation of designs between the two continents. American cars are known for their bold, aggressive designs with lots of chrome and flashy colors. Think about the Chevrolet Camaro. It has a muscular body with a lot of chrome accents, and comes in bright,
Is it
eye-catching
called
colors
Camaro?
like red and
Camaro.
yellow. In contrast, a European car
Is
like
this AI?
I think this either it's AI or
has to
this
be
guy's
AI.
European.
Okay.
European as in like he doesn't. His first language isn't English.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Audi A4 has a more understated
Ari's dream.
design with sleek lines and a minimalist approach to styling. It often comes in more muted colors like black, white, and silver. And here's the interesting part. These design differences aren't just about aesthetics. They also reflect cultural differences between Europe and America. In the US, there is often an emphasis on the size of things, including cars. This is because larger cars are often associated with status and wealth, and Americans may want to show off their success through their vehicles.
Is that a thing? Like the bigger your car, the more well off you're doing? I think it's more the brand of the
yeah,
car.
I think it's more brand. Maybe that.
It's kind of the same thing here.
Maybe, I mean, for men, where they like the big trucks. Like,
yeah,
the bigger
I can
the
see
truck.
that. The bigger suspension,
Yeah.
the bigger wheels.
Yeah.
The bigger wheels. I see that a lot in Florida.
Yeah.
Like you've got a truck, but you're riding like on street wheels. And
I would think bigger cars is status in Europe or the UK because it costs so much for fuel that you would be like.
I don't know, if you have an American car here, it's like, well, one, you're on the wrong side of the road and you won't get a conversion kit to move it to the other side, so you're always driving on the wrong side of the road. Well, not the wrong side of the road, but the wrong side of the steering.
Yeah, like I get what
You know
you're
what I mean?
saying.
I can't think of what it's called.
It's like the driver's side is on the opposite
But then
side of what you would
the
normally.
it is kind of like a, we won't really call it a baller move, but it's kind of a stupid move. Most people would laugh at you and be like, oh wow. The people that would think that would think it's cool, but most people would be like, oh, what an idiot, he's paying too much for fuel, because your cars are like 6-litre V8s, which are cool, but over here the fuel prices are insane, and so like to be paying that much for fuel in a car that drinks that much, more people are going to be laughing at you than anything.
In contrast, in Europe, there may be less of a focus on size and more emphasis on practicality and efficiency. This leads to a focus on bold, attention-grabbing designs that stand out from the crowd. So in Europe, the emphasis is more on subtlety and sophistication. Cars are seen as a status symbol, but not in the same way they are in the US. Instead of showing off wealth and status, European cars are meant to reflect a sense of taste and refinement.
There we go.
Performance differences. Of course, one of the biggest differences between American and European cars is their performance. American cars are known for their raw power and speed, while European cars are known for their agility and handling. So why is that? It all comes down to the types of roads each continent has. You see, in America, we've got long, straight highways that are often wider than a football field. So American cars are designed to reach high speeds without having to worry too much about handling. But in Europe, the roads are narrow, winding, and this means that cars need to be able to handle well at high speeds and in tight corners. Now you might be thinking, what about horsepower? Surely that plays a role, right? And you're absolutely right. American cars tend to have more powerful engines with higher horsepower ratings, which is one of the reasons they are known for their raw power and straight line speed. Take the 2022 Chevrolet Corvette Z06, which has a 5.5-liter V8 engine that produces over 600 horsepower. That's some serious muscle. In contrast, European cars tend to have smaller, more efficient engines with lower horsepower ratings, but with a greater emphasis on handling and agility. For example, the 2022 Porsche 911 Carrera S has a 3.0-liter flat-six engine that produces 443 horsepower. While this horsepower rating may be lower than some American muscle cars, the Porsche 911 is famous for its exceptional handling and precise steering. It's worth noting that these are generalizations and that there are exceptions to these trends. For example, some American cars such as the Dodge Challenger Hellcat and the Ford Mustang GT.
Dream car. But
Is that your dream car?
one of them, but like, have you seen
A Hellcat.
yeah, but have you not seen the videos of like what it's like owning a Hellcat? And they go
That's what I'm
They go
saying.
outside and press the button and it's not there.
It's probably like in Atlanta though, like
It's,
certain
I think it's
urban
everywhere. I think
areas.
urban areas
everywhere?
definitely, yeah. But like it's like they just get stolen. Like you can't take them anywhere. So I don't think I'll ever own one just because of that.
500 have great handling along with high speeds, While some European cars, such as the Audi RS6 Avant and the Mercedes-AMG E63S, have horsepower ratings that approach 600 horsepower. However, these are generally outliers, and the overall trend is for American cars to prioritize raw power and speed, while European cars prioritize handling and agility. Technology differences. Up next, we have the differences in technology between American and European cars. American cars are often packed with the latest gadgets and gizmos, from touchscreen infotainment systems to lane departure warning systems. European cars, on the other hand, tend to focus more on the basics.
A quick one. Do you think those type of things are like cool and handy, or like
The technology piece?
yeah, like
I think it's nice. Do you ever really use it when you're driving, like realistically?
well, the European ones, like the lane departure warning, like anytime you move across a line without indicating, it beeps at you and like tells you, and sometimes it steers you back into the lane.
Oh, I wouldn't like that.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate everything about it. Turn it all off and just let me drive. Because like, I think what happens is it creates I don't know what the word is, like when you zone out when you're driving.
Like you're not as attentive when you're driving?
Yeah. I think it creates that, and you get so you think it's going to take over, and then it doesn't, and then you're in a bush. So, yeah, or in another car. So, yeah.
Good handling, good brakes, and good suspension. But European cars actually have a long history of innovation and technology. Many of the most important automotive innovations, from disc brakes to electronic fuel injection, were developed in Europe. However, European automakers tend to be more conservative when it comes to introducing new technology. In recent years, European automakers have invested heavily in developing new technologies, particularly in electric and autonomous vehicles. BMW, Volkswagen, Daimler, and Volvo are among those leading the way. But while they're always looking for ways to innovate,
what are your thoughts on self-driving vehicles? I think that's dangerous.
I'll take advantage of them wherever I can. Like, if you cut in front of a self-driving vehicle, it will let you in every single time. So,
but
I'd advise
are they on the
everybody to
road
do
right
so.
now? Self-driving vehicles?
Have you never heard
completely?
of Waymo or whatever? Like, not here. In the US, they are.
I know that there are like some like test areas, but like
videos
that's
of like
scary.
people spray painting the cars whilst the passengers are sat in them, like those self-driving taxis or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, no, actually I do think that there's some in Miami. So, but
Yeah.
I've never. I think I'm a little scared of that. That's a little.
I hate them.
Do you guys like? Let us know. Like, what do you think about like self-driving vehicles where they're autonomous? I think
I might
that's
lose some
a little
people
bit
here,
ahead of
but
its time.
self-driving cars, electric cars. I think we're all being played for a bit of a, not to put my tinfoil hat on here at all, but like, I think, let people drive.
Yeah,
we'll reach
see.
the technology when we get there, but like, it's too early at the minute.
European automakers tend to prioritize refining existing technologies over introducing new untested systems. This approach is partly due to European customers' hesitation towards new technology, and automakers' desire to ensure reliability and safety before introducing new features or systems. For example, Volkswagen's diesel engine issues led to increased caution in introducing new technology. Overall, European automakers are investing in new technologies while balancing innovation with reliability and safety. Another difference between American and European cars is their approach to safety. While both continents prioritize safety, their approaches differ. American cars tend to have more safety features such as lane departure warning systems, blind spot monitoring, and forward collision warnings. European cars, on the other hand, focus more on fundamental safety features like good handling, brakes, and suspension. They also tend to have more advanced safety features, such as electronic stability control and anti-lock brakes, which were developed in Europe. Infrastructural and legislation differences. American and European cars are different due to a variety of factors, including historical and cultural preferences, regulatory standards, and infrastructure differences. As I already told you, there are significant infrastructural differences between America and Europe, such as the road network. But did you know there's also a difference in the availability and cost of fuel? Gasoline is generally cheaper in the US than in Europe, which has historically led American car manufacturers to focus on producing larger, less fuel-efficient vehicles. In contrast, European car manufacturers have been forced to prioritize fuel efficiency due to higher gas prices and stricter emissions regulations. These strict environmental laws led to the adoption of new tech.
I think that's a good point. Like in terms of when you came to the US, you were like shocked by how cheap
Yeah, and you thought it was expensive.
Yeah, and at that time we were having some high gas prices. I think it was after
30 or 40,
like
460.
towards the end of the pandemic. It was pretty high for us, but for him it was like this is cheap. So
Yeah.
it just shows you perspective.
For you, it was like 430 or 460.
I don't remember the exact
per
price.
gallon, which is what, 3 point something liters or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And for us, it was like 180, maybe 170, maybe 190. I don't know, like per liter, which is like yeah, it's a lot more expensive for us. So it's like $6, $7,
yeah,
$8.
But that was just a stark difference between like the U.S. and maybe the UK is that the price difference in our appetite for the different prices are a little bit different because I was like, this is way too high.
Technologies such as catalytic converters and diesel particulate filters. European car manufacturers have also been at the forefront of developing hybrid and electric vehicles in response to these regulations. This difference is highly reflected in trucks. In America, pickup trucks are extremely popular, with the Ford F-150 being the best-selling vehicle in the country for many years. This is largely due to the country's rural culture and the need for heavy-duty vehicles for work and recreation. In Europe, on the other hand,
this is definitely AI recreation.
That's a very, I think that's a Ram TRX, so that's a very big car, but like, you can see how ridiculous it looks. This is a video from CarWow. I recognize the video.
From where?
There's a channel called CarWow.
Oh.
They review cars, and you can see how ridiculous this car looks on British streets.
But why does it have a Texas tag if it's on British streets?
Because it's not a car that's sold in the UK.
So did they purposely like ship it over?
So my guess is they shipped this car over as a exhibition car, or somebody lent it to them from Germany where you have stations. Soldiers stationed at like Ramstein or somewhere like that.
Yeah, but that's interesting.
But yeah, I mean, maybe they'll show more of it. But yeah, it's too big for our streets, and you get a lot of funny looks, like driving a car that size around here. It won't fit around certain corners and so on. So,
pickup trucks are much less popular, with smaller, more fuel-efficient cars being the norm. Now, you may have heard that European cars are more environmentally friendly. However, it's important to note that this perception is not entirely accurate. While European cars may be more fuel efficient, they still have a significant impact on the environment. Additionally, American automakers have also made significant strides in recent years to improve the fuel efficiency of their vehicles and reduce their impact on the environment. Future trends. And finally, we look into the trends of the future. So what does the future hold for American and European cars? There are a few trends that are likely to shape the industry in the coming years. One of the biggest is the shift towards electric and autonomous vehicles. Both American and European automakers are investing heavily in these technologies, which could fundamentally change the way we think about cars. However, even in a world of electric and autonomous cars, there will still be differences between American and European cars. The design, performance, and technology differences that we've discussed will still be relevant, and they may even become more pronounced as automakers try to differentiate themselves in a crowded market. And with this, we have come to the end of this video. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the differences between American and European cars.
So,
did we learn anything? I feel like we knew all the stuff that we just watched.
I'm trying to think of anything.
Comment down below which one do you guys prefer if you've had, I don't know, if you've experienced both, like European or American cars, which ones you prefer. Let us know down below. Let us know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like it down below, subscribe to our channel, comment, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Peace.